stand with
So you can get all the money.
In this cabinet, and not only in this cabinet.
We gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid president, $350 billion.
You voted for your...
stand with Ukraine.
So you can get all the money you can get.
Stand with Ukraine. Stand with Ukraine. Stand with
So you can get all the money you can get.
Stand with Ukraine.
Ukraine has been a loyal ally. Ukraine gave up its nuclear weapons because we basically pressured them to. That made them vulnerable to an evil enemy. Our behavior since the new administration came in has been disgraceful.
Actually, I agree with Trump because Ukrainians like to come and bully people. He got just what he deserved in that Oval Office yesterday. That's my opinion.
So you can get all the money you can
Stand with Ukraine.
Ukraine wants peace more than anyone else. That's the key message. We lost so many people and we don't want to lose more.
Why can't Ukraine hold an election? And I don't know their constitution. I don't know what process they go through, but they still could have had an election.
My name is Elizabeth Killebrew, and I'm out here because Ukraine has been a loyal ally. Ukraine gave up its nuclear weapons because we basically pressured them to. That made them vulnerable to an evil enemy who attacked them without provocation, and we have stood by them until recently. Our behavior since the new administration came in has been disgraceful, and I need to do everything I personally can to demonstrate and try to change that behavior. So I'm out here, and I think that's the reason why other people are out here and are honking as well, because as of Friday, with the interview with Zelenskyy, I've never been so embarrassed to be an American in my life. So if I can do anything to change that and show that the character of the American people hasn't changed at all, I'll do it.
Actually, I agree with Trump because Ukrainians like to come and bully people. And we've been bullied too much by them. You know, they use fear of Putin to try to get us to be sympathetic to them. But look at all these able bodies out here protesting. How come they not over in Ukraine? You know, we got Americans that are losing their benefits, losing jobs, but we're paying pensions in Ukraine. We're paying Social Security in Ukraine. Ukrainians in America are living better than Americans. And you want me to stand with them when they are homeless veterans that can't get no help? No, he got just what he deserved in that Oval Office yesterday. That's my opinion, you know?
How do you see this whole thing playing out in the days ahead? Do you think Trump could broker peace between the two countries?
I don't think they want peace because over $100 billion is missing. I don't think they want peace. They want more money. They don't want peace. They want money. And that's the whole bottom line. They just want money. They're not looking for peace, because they're mismanaging the money, and they'll end up kicking America in their ass after they done got our money. You watch.
I'm here today in this action with our Ukrainian and American friends. Thank you so much for your support. To basically stand with Ukraine and show the entire world, especially after everything which happened in the Oval Office a day before, that actually most of the Americans support Ukraine. We all know that, and we want that support to continue. We want to try to find a way to negotiate and to have the support of United States, of Europe, to help us to finish this war and have just and lasting peace with security guarantees for Ukraine. Otherwise, Russia will rearm and reinvade again, and all our efforts to make this peace negotiations with Russia, it all would be in vain if we would not provide the security guarantees. So basically, we're here just to remind that Americans, Ukrainians will stand as long as needed with Ukraine, and we are waiting waiting for the future negotiations and for the attempts of the Ukrainian administration, American administration, to talk and to find a solution.
What's your impression about those who support what happened at the Oval Office in terms of Donald Trump supporters, J.D. Vance's supporters? What do you have to say to them?
Yeah, so basically when everything happened, me and my fellow Ukrainians, Americans were standing right at the White House, greeting our president and, you know, supporting him, cheering him up before the time when he was supposed to sign a deal. And Ukraine is actually ready to negotiations. Ukraine wants peace more than anyone else. That's the key message. We lost so many people and we don't want to lost more. We don't want to lose more people. We want to have our kids returned. We want to have our POWs returned. We want to have our territories back. We just want to live in just and lasting peace. And, you know, and then there will be peace in the world.
My opinion on what went down between Zelensky and President Trump was that part of it was a language barrier. I was surprised that Zelensky didn't have like a translator actively translating what Trump was saying. Zelensky could speak English and he could understand English, but I feel like if he had a translator, he would have been able to have more time to process what he wanted to say, and the meeting might have went a little bit differently. And there's also other things involved where what was pretty interesting was I didn't really understand exactly what Zelensky was asking for. Now, we know previously Zelensky was able to get money from President Biden, right? In the previous Trump administration, Trump supplied him with weapons. And during the Obama administration, Obama sort of looked the other way when Russia invaded Crimea. So, you know, diplomatically, I don't think Zelensky did a great job. And you saw the Ukrainian ambassador doing a facepalm when Zelensky started arguing with Trump. As far as Zelensky wearing a suit, I don't really think it's that big of a deal if he wore a suit or not, you know. The people on the other side are going to say Elon Musk doesn't wear a suit. But to be fair, Elon Musk is not a president of a country. So, you know, the other thing is, you know, why can't Ukraine hold an election? And I don't know their constitution. I don't know what process they go through, but they still could have had an election from my understanding. But the fact that he doesn't want to have an election is pretty interesting. There's different polls on his Zelensky's approval rating. One poll is based off of the USAID funded poll, which apparently says 57% of people support Zelensky. But then there's another poll that Donald Trump referenced that only 4% of people like Zelensky. So I don't really know what's true in terms of that.
And what do you have to say about J.D. Vance and Donald Trump, you know, having each other's back as things played out at the Oval?
So what's interesting was J.D. Vance had a meeting with Zelensky. It was Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, and, you know, some other delegates from America had a meeting with Zelensky. I forgot where it was. It could have been France or something. And we don't know how that meeting went. But then later, a couple days after, J.D. Vance gave his famous speech in Germany against European leaders. And then later, Donald Trump had a meeting with Putin in Saudi Arabia. And then Zelensky was mad that he wasn't invited. So I think Trump is just, he's taking all sides. J.D. Vance talked to Zelensky and Trump talked to Putin in Saudi Arabia. And then we were able to we don't know exactly what happened because a lot of it was behind closed doors, but it probably didn't go in Zelensky's favor based off of how that meeting went.